Our Billete shuttle is built and assembled, and our route is set 14 jumps out to 4C TAC in the Outer Ring region. It's 14 jumps, and 12 of them are through Null-sec. So let's get at it. We're going out to Outer Ring, of course, because that's the only place you can buy a venture blueprint. We haven't needed a venture before now. There have been times when it might have been useful, but we're now reaching the point where there are a few things where the mining frigate is really going to be the right ship to fly. It can be useful for helping us get extra minerals, but I'm talking about the moon mining and the gas huffing. Those are the things where doing it with mining lasers or gas scoops fit on a catalyst would just be absurd. This is Bill. Bill wants to build a Cynabal and join the Angel Cartel cause in Zarzak, but he's not making it easy on himself. Because the Venture's a frigate, it actually isn't that expensive for us to build, and the blueprint is pretty cheap, but Outer Ring Excavations is the only faction that sells Venture blueprints, and their only stations are out in NPC Null-sec. But fortunately, Outer Ring, their Null-sec region, is adjacent to Syndicate, and therefore quite close to where we are here. Now we're flying a shuttle, of course, because they warp almost instantly off gates, and also, more critically, they are immune to warp disruption bubbles from interdictors or from anchored bubbles. So, absent smart bombs, nothing should be able to catch us on a gate or otherwise as we fly out to Null. This route looks pretty quiet. So we're coming up on our first jump into Null-sec, and I am expecting that we won't see a bubble camp on the other side, which is something that you frequently do see on those first jump border systems from low-sec to Null. No, there are 3 people in local. We can see the next gate is on D-scan, and there is no one out in space. There are 4 stations here at this border system in Syndicate, so I'm guessing these people are docked up. This is a pretty interesting system. I think we might want to come back here ourselves and check out, for example, these Null-sec border rare asteroids. Yeah, we're going to be peeking our head into Syndicate pretty soon in something other than a shuttle. But let's not get distracted right now. Our shuttle is extremely vulnerable if it spends any time doing anything other than warping directly gate to gate. Now, one further jump into Syndicate, and the system is completely empty. Oh, one person just jumped in behind us, I think. So the region's called Syndicate, and you'll notice that the faction holding sovereignty out here is the Intaki Syndicate. They're not a pirate corp, they're a weird sort of just NPC flavor corp, and one of the few that holds sovereignty. So this entire region is not capturable by player alliances, which makes it less appealing for a lot of people, because most of the high value stuff you can do in Null-sec requires your alliance to hold sovereignty. But for small corporations and for individual players, that means this whole region is a playground. I'm pretty excited to be spending some time out here. It's similar in a lot of ways to Curse, but Curse actually has a pretty active community. There are people in most of those systems most of the time, and I get the sense that Syndicate is, on average, a lot quieter. We are now in Outer Ring, and the sovereignty has switched to Outer Ring Excavations. This region of space is pretty empty. There are only a couple of systems that have stations in them, and I don't think very many people choose to live out here, so I won't be surprised if we see literally no one in the next 7 jumps. Oh, we haven't taken a moment yet to admire how beautiful this shuttle is. I mean, it's a matter of taste, the aesthetics obviously, but I think the Billete shuttle is hands down the best looking of the 4 Empire faction shuttles. And I mean, as I said before, I think the Amar shuttle, which we also have a blueprint for, is hands down the ugliest of the 4. In fact, the Amar shuttle that we built back in Dysa, you might recall we named Carmen. And so, I have named our Billete shuttle Prettier Carmen. We're flying it with the default skin, which is to say with no skin. Many episodes ago, I invited people to send Bill contracts for skins for ships that he flies, because he won't have a way to acquire them himself within the rules. And it's worked out really well. Lots of people have sent in plenty of skins. In fact, all these people. And Bill has skins now for every ship that he flies, except for the Billete Shuttle, because I only purchased the blueprint in episode 30, which has not gone live on YouTube yet at the time I'm filming this, so nobody knows that I'm flying a Billete Shuttle. But if you want to be the first to send Bill a Billete Shuttle skin, that would be much appreciated. So we've looted a fair number of meta mining lasers from rats just ratting around in Placid, and we'll be able to fit those to the Venture, and that will allow us to mine in belts, and those same modules can also be used to mine moon chunks if we find a place to do so. The other thing we need the Venture for is going to be harvesting the gas, which is found in gas exploration sites, and we need 8. We need a bunch of different varieties of gas that'll be found in different regions of space. In order to harvest that gas, we're going to need to buy a gas cloud scoop. And I'm pretty sure that the gas scoop 1 blueprint is also sold in the same station as the Venture blueprint. Oh, and it's pricey. I did not look at that before I came out here. Okay, we have 23.7 million ISK. We have enough. It's going to leave us with just about 5 million to spare, but that's all right. We just need to make sure that we do not lose these on the flight back to Albras. Okay, and this system, one of the 2 systems in the region that has 4 stations in it, actually seems to be quite popular. There are 11 people in system, and 5 of them are actually members of our militia, so it feels quite friendly here. Venture Blueprint, 2.8 million ISK. Gas Cloud Scoop 1 Blueprint, 16.5 million ISK. And now, directly back to Albras. Oh, this is a cool looking station model. I do like that. Okay, I am already getting distracted. We're out of here. So coming out to Null on day trips is kind of interesting. In Null, when we were in Null before, in Curse, we were only running missions. We didn't really engage in any of the other Null content. There aren't really any belts in Curse, but there are belts out here in Outer Ring and Syndicate, and we absolutely could handle belt ratting in Null, which will, just like 0.1 systems have better rewards than 0.3 systems, Null-sec systems have better rewards still. The rats will have higher bounties, and the high-quality rats will appear more frequently. As for the anomalies, though, there's not really any advantage for us coming out to Null, because there are plenty of anomalies in low-sec already that are too hard for us to run. And out in Null, there are an even higher level of anomalies on top of that, so the anomalies in a given system are just, on average, going to be ones we can't run. Kind of looks like a ninja star, the Billete Shuttle. It looks good against the lava planet. And just like that, we're safely back in Placid. And we can get a Venture building. I actually really like the Venture as a ship. I hate mining. I hate mining as an activity. In fact, on my main, I have not done it since like 2014. But I do like the Venture as a ship design. So I'm a little bit excited that this challenge is going to give me an opportunity to use the Venture for what it's actually designed to do. I still don't think that mining is particularly interesting gameplay, but I'm actually looking forward to this part of the run. And I know that a lot of people watch the channel who do mine on a regular basis, and they've been looking forward to seeing me build something like a Venture and get to it. And to those people, I apologize in advance for how many mistakes I'm going to make, because this is not a part of the game that I know well at all. But what I do know how to do is build blueprints. One Venture, it takes less resources to build than even a slasher. It'll be done in an hour and a half. Let's get it started. Let's build some of those gas scoops now as well, because once we've got a Venture, if we find a gas signature, we are going to want to jump in and start harvesting that gas straight away. So we want to have the gas cloud harvesters ready to go. We will need 2 of them. Oh, this is interesting. They require a bunch of megasite, which is not something we have in high quantities at all. So we can reprocess another picture point, and that'll give us the titanium, but it is not rich in megasite. I did not think megasite would ever be our bottleneck. Well, we're building a venture, and now we have an intermediate goal to put up on the status line. We're gonna figure out what asteroids reprocess into megasite, and then we're heading out to the belts to find some. Okay, so my venture, Vera, has finished building, and I've been able to mostly fit it with modules that we had on hand. But I realized that I'm gonna want shield tank rigs in the lows, and I only have the blueprints for medium shield rigs. So I've jumped over to Gare, where conveniently there's an Ishukone factory, and small core defense field extender 1 blueprint, 125,000 disc. So now I've got all this in the oven, and in about another 25 minutes, Vera will be fully fit out and ready to hit the belts. But I've also done some research following my bold claim that I was going to go find some asteroids that could give me megasite. It turns out the only asteroid that gives megasite is Arkanor, which is one of the rarer ores in the game, and I'm pretty sure only spawns in Null-sec. So while these modules are building, we're going to take a trip back out to Syndicate and see if we can't scope out an asteroid belt with some Arkanor rocks in it. When we flew out in our shuttle, in TXW TAC, not only were there a number of belts, there was also a special belt that appeared on the overview. Maybe it'll be full of Arkanor. Let's check out these Null-sec border rare asteroids. Also, there's a small Arkanor and Bistot anomaly and a medium Arkanor and Bistot anomaly right here in the probe scanner. So we can definitely find Arkanor here. The question will be, are these anomalies full of NPCs, which I think they might be. These Ducia Foundry rats have gone ham on this rare asteroid belt. I don't even know what these asteroids are. The Pyrite asteroid and a Zydrian asteroid. Let's check out the small Arkanor and Bistot anomaly. There's nobody here. Okay. So small Arkanor and Bistot anomaly, we can definitely come to. NPCs will eventually spawn in them. But it was the huge fleet of NPCs that is sometimes waiting at them to begin with that I was more worried about. And there as well. And what about just at the regular belts? Pyroxeries. I am starting to see a pattern here. Okay, so the regular belts in TXW TAC have nothing but pyroxeries in them. But there are these 2 anomalies. We will come back here and we will get to work on those. All right, Vera. Syndicate awaits. Straight to the small Arkanor and Bistot anomaly. We'll turn on our shield hardener right now. Get our mining tab ready. What's our mining range? 16 kilometers. Our orbit 10 kilometers. So we don't find ourselves bumping on the rock if we need to beat a quick retreat. Orbit, target, mine. We are mining Arkanor. Let's see how many cycles we get off before the first bad guys arrive. Hoping for at least 1. Now I think we need 100 units of this in order to reprocess it. So if we get less than 100, we essentially get 0 megasite. Units to reprocess, 100. Volume 16. So we actually need 1,600 cubic meters in order to reprocess 1 batch. That is a lot. In the ships that we have mined in before, like our Catalyst and our Reaper, we could not have held a single batch of Arkanor. Vera here only has a 50-meter hold, but the trick is that her mining hold is 5,000 cubic meters, which means we'll be able to fit 3 full loads of reprocessable Arkanor if we don't get jumped by Serpentis bad guys or rogue drones first. And if we do get jumped by Serpentis bad guys or rogue drones, we've got 2 trusty Hobgoblin 1s here to fight them off with. I'm not sure in Null-sec how far those 2 Tech 1 small drones are going to go, but we'll give it our all. And now, as is the case with mining, we just sit and wait. When this cycle finishes, we will have 1 reprocessable batch of Arkanor. So from here on out, even if we have to run, as long as we survive, we will have succeeded in our quest to bring in some megasite. The venture will have already proven its worth. I'd go make some coffee if I didn't know the second I did, 20 battleships would spawn. We have 2 full loads of Arkanor now. Only room in the hold for a third. 90 more Arkanor, and we are gonna get out of here. Oh, the rats have spawned. We can only target them within 17 kilometers. We're gonna keep orbiting. We are going to send out the drones and see if our shield can't hold these guys off long enough to pull in another 62 Arkanor. I was really starting to think that we were going to get through this whole endeavor without seeing a single NPC, but I'm honestly kind of thankful for these guys. At least it's something happening. At least it's something to keep me from falling asleep. Alright, Hobgoblin 1, Hobgoblin 2. Oops. Ah! I turned off my laser. Let's see if these 2 Hobgoblins can take out a Serpentis squad leader. My money is on the Serpentis squad leader in this matchup. Oh, I'm not sure our shields are going to hold. You only need 50 more Arkanor. We can always heat our multi-spec. Oh, it looks like we won't have to. Honestly, we're just tanking this. 36 to go. Shields kind of holding at like 45. All right, I'm pretty impressed with the tank on this little venture here. Holding off a battle cruiser and 2 cruisers. And Tim and Tom, the Hobgoblins, are actually chipping away at this guy. I don't know if they're going to kill him before we finish harvesting our 300 Arkanor, but given time, I think they actually would. Come on, Tim. Come on, Tom. You can do it. Oh, 292 Arkanor. I think we can short cycle this, right? There's a trick where if we turn this mining laser off early, it gives us what it's got. Perfect. Vestuve, off we go. 306 Arkanor in the tank. Totally thrilling YouTube gameplay content, you guys. I orbited a rock for 15 minutes. I failed to kill an NPC battlecruiser. And I've got 1.67 million ISK worth of Arkanor to show for it. I do have to say, for being one of the rarest ores in the game, mining Arkanor in a venture sure does not seem like a good use of your time. That's like 1 battleship's worth of bounty. The question is, was this the most effective way for us to get the megasite we need? I'm hoping that this 1 load of 300 Arkanor gives us the couple of hundred megasite that we needed. If we have to do that again, I mean, we can. There's another anomaly that we didn't even go to, and we seem to be pretty decent at tanking those rats. 190 megasite. That's not a lot. It's not a lot. Is it enough? We are 154 megasite short. We're gonna have to do that again. 1 more Arkanor run, back to Syndicate. Just 3 jumps. So I'm gonna take Catherine out there, clear out that anomaly, double check the medium anomaly and clear out any rats there as well, and then we'll come back and pick up Vera. Wait a second. There's someone out in a venture in system. I have a dastardly plan. The venture has a built-in warp core stab, so if you want to hold one down, it takes 2 warp scramblers. And that's assuming they don't have an additional warp core stab also fit, but people generally don't. We can't fit 2 warp scrams and a prop mod on a catalyst, and for that matter, if a catalyst lands on grid, a Venture is gonna GTFO. But we could fit 2 warp scrams on Vera, and another Venture landing on grid is not nearly so scary. Let's go. First figure out where he is.
Tactical descanning could be a whole video, but what I'm doing here is simple. When you see a target on 360 degree scan, you can narrow your angle to 5 degrees, hold down the descan button, and then click on different celestials and anomalies to swing your scanner in that direction until you narrow down which one your target is at.
I'll press 3, belt 1, heat the scrams. So I got too excited and I mostly forgot to talk through what I was doing as it happened, but I landed on grid and there he was. I started approaching without targeting because I didn't want to spook him. Didn't target him until he was already in heated scram range. And then as soon as I got that target, well, at that point, the fight was basically over. 2 scrams on, 2 drones on. Venture down. Oh, I was really hoping for the Tech 2 mining laser. Still, that was satisfying. Good fight, Snap Gelatinous. Good fight. Well, we've got some Omer and Hemor fight. The Arkanor mining episode is solo PvP episode, take 2. Nobody expects the dual warp scram light ion blaster Venture. Now let's go get back in Catherine. Let's go clear some anomalies in Null-sec. Killing that Venture has absolutely made my day. Oh, the rats are gone. I'll pop over and check the medium. No rats here either. There is a station in system though. What I'm going to do is I'm going to dock up at the Antaki Bank, and then I'm going to self-destruct my pod back to Albres and fly Vera over here. And then if rats do spawn, we can just dock Vera up, hop in Catherine, kill them, and hop back in Vera. Does mean we'll have to fly both ships back separately as well, but that's not much of a problem. And off we go. Take a break to make coffee. And we settle in and wait for those rats to come back. We only need 56 more Arkanor. I'm going to try taking out a cruiser this time, if they come close enough for me to target them. It looks like on the far side of this orbit we should be right next to them. It looks like this is going to be very similar to last time though. I think that we're going to finish harvesting our last 42 Arkanor just as our shields begin to break. I don't think it actually matters if Tim and Tom can kill these cruisers. I think this is the last cycle. Come back Tim, come back Tom. 300 Arkanor. Another 300 Arkanor for the Crusher. Means another 190 Megasite for the Hangar, which hopefully finally means that we can build 2 Gas Cloud Scoop 1s. We can! We need 964 Megasite, and we have 1,000 on the nose in the oven. Now, in order to harvest gas, we are also going to need to find the gas. And that is a job for a probe Then we also obviously need to build a core probe launcher and some core scanner probes. In a few hours, we're going to be all set. To find gas, to huff gas. What an absolute beast of a ship, mining Arkanor and Null like it's no big deal. Solo PvP, taking out other ventures. Vera, what can't you do? Okay, our gas cloud scoops have finished building, as has our probe and our fundamental exploration tools. And let's see about putting those gas scoops on Vera. I think gas scoops take turret slots. I guess we'll find out. Unable to bring gas cloud scoop 1 online, requires gas cloud harvesting. Okay. Oh,